Hello everybody, I am Baltmatrix, and today we are taking a look at Transformers 1 Optimus Prime / Orion Pax. I picked this figure up over at Amazon.com. I also got Alpha Trion, was not able to get Bumblebee. I didn't even see Bumblebee for sale, so if it's for sale, let me know. I do like the new Transformers 1 Autobot symbol, the gold with the red. That's very cool. I'm really curious if they do the same with the Decepticon logo, gold and purple. That will look cool. The look of the figure is quite good. There's some decent paint apps going on with this, and the silver is very nice. I also do like the shade of blue and the red we've got going on here. And the head sculpt, that's pretty good too. But man, this figure feels tiny. I think the reason the figure feels so tiny is because there's not a lot of mass to it. It's a very light figure. And there are parts of this figure that just feel cheap. Specifically the hands, they don't clip into place all that well. And then the actual chest and back of the figure feel very cheap and loose. The legs feel dense, like that. There is a lot of plastic, but this is the first time I've ever seen hollow feet before. So yeah, that's definitely weird. The Studio Series figure feels massive compared to this thing. I mean, it's just way bigger, and it definitely feels heftier in the hand as well. But I have to admit, I do like the coloring of this Prime Changer figure much more than I do of the Studio Series figure. The Studio Series figure's colors are just so muted comparatively. This new figure comes with an Energon axe, blue Energon axe, and it just is held in robot mode. The one thing that I do like is it looks like his hand splits apart and then the axe forms that way. That is a very cool effect. And overall, it looks pretty darn good. I like the way the axe looks with this figure. Now, compare that with the axe from the Studio Series figure. And while the Studio Series figure's axe is, well, bigger, I mean, it is actually physically bigger, I don't like this one as much because of the clear Energon plastic. I much prefer painted. While trying to get the axe out, I popped the hand off. As you can see, the hand is just held on with these super tiny little pegs. I wonder if like non-Nef or DNA Designs might make a upgrade kit for this Optimus, because good lord, that was weird. These hands feel like they're going to fall off any second. Head is on a ball joint, can look way up and swivel side to side, cannot look down. Shoulders are on butterfly joints and then a ball joint in the shoulder. Swivel at the upper arm, bend at the elbow is over 90 degrees, no fist articulation. There is torso articulation, but it snaps back in the front position, so that does spin. Legs can kick forward all the way and can kick back all the way and can kick out all the way. There is a thigh swivel, but then the thigh swivel is so tight that it actually moves the ball joint. Bend at the leg is that's roughly 90 degrees, I think. No foot articulation. These are solid feet. Looking at the figure's backside, there's a lot of cost cutting going on here. You can see that just how much emptiness there is in the lower torso crotch unit. There's a giant hole there in the middle, and then a tiny peg hole for a figure stand. Though it slides in way too easily, that's not going to hold very well. The figure's overall posability is okay. The joints are nice and tight. The only problem I really have are these stupid wrist pieces that constantly flop about. They do not stay connected or pegged in any way. I haven't been able to find a pose that makes him look really bad. This new paint job, compared to the Studio Series figure, is doing wonders. Now, the axe isn't the only accessory the figure comes with. The guns do pop off, or I should say the smokestacks in vehicle mode do pop off, and he can put them in his hands as little blasters, which I do like quite a bit. Yeah, I like that. The figure also has a matrix of leadership, and it's right here in the chest, where you thought it would be. Yeah, see, it's up in there somewhere. You gotta flip that front out, and you gotta flip that part out, and oh look, there it is. Pop that out, and oh boy, that little matrix does not feel good. So it's kind of like a half matrix. Paint's good. It's very tiny. I think it works. Plus, Prime can hold it with no issues whatsoever. I do like that. It is a nice touch. It's just the Matrix itself, those handles feel really cheap and flimsy. Transformation time. Start off by flipping the hands into the forearms and then turning the forearms so that the back of the forearms are pointing forward like that. Then come to the chest, flip up the chest, reach inside, and flip up the grill like so. Grab each shoulder and unpeg it and pull it all the way down, and don't pull too hard or you'll pop a ball joint like I just did. Then come to the head and push the head back like that, and then take the backpack, and you're not supposed to unpeg it fully, but you're supposed to just kind of pull the whole thing forward, spin it around, and then it's supposed to snap into place over Prime's head that you push down into his chest. Oh, boy. Yeah, things just like to fall apart on this thing. Peekaboo. Now, once we've got it to this point, grab the legs and pull them all the way back like that. And then we can bring the front of the chest back down and push the head all the way down to close up the canopy. And I tried to swing the arm down, but the ball joint popped off again, so I'll just leave it like that, and then pop it back on the ball joint and peg in that little peg right there to that peg hole right there is what you're supposed to do. If you notice the ball joints are popping off quite a bit, that's because they are. I've transformed this thing a couple of times, and every time the ball joints pop off. It does help if you bend the arms up. That really does help quite a bit. Then there is a peg on the back there that will get pegged into by that little peg hole, so we can attach the arms to the back of the vehicle mode, like that. Then come to the outside of the legs and fold them open like this. You can do that on both sides. Then we'll unpeg the knee and flip the entire leg assembly around. And it'll actually peg into, the bottom of the foot will actually peg into the other side of the arm. And then we could close up the leg, and oh, it popped off again. And I have found that these panels pop off pretty easily if you don't have it perfectly aligned. So there's a peg there that's going to go right in there. And I didn't push that down far enough, did I? There we go. Snapped it into place. That gives us the clearance. Unpeg the knee, flip it around, and make sure it's pushed in all the way till it snaps. Then that gives us the clearance. And just before you fix everything here, we're going to plug the axe into the back, and then like this, and then the axe will peg into these two pegs, and it'll look something like that. I like the look of this vehicle mode. I think this is a better rendition of Optimus Prime's vehicle mode in TF1 than the Studio Series figure. It definitely doesn't have any floppy bits. Once everything's pegged together, it's not going to move, and I genuinely like it. It just feels real tiny, especially right next to the Studio Series Optimus. I mean, it is small, but it's roughly the same length as current Deluxe Class vehicle modes. It's just not nearly as bulky. So it is just a smidge shorter than Chase, but all of its mass is up front as opposed to being distributed across the vehicle mode. The figure in this mode rolls actually pretty darn well. The wheels are pretty good. They are plastic, but there are 6 of them, and the real wheels are nice and big, and they're on these pins, which I greatly appreciate. They definitely feel better than these weird plastic ones from the Studio Series figure. Okay, I'm going to stop comparing it to the Studio Series figure because I think this is a better toy than that thing. Overall, I'm pleasantly surprised with this figure. It has some minor flaws. I really am really concerned about those wrists just not being able to stand the test of time, and you know, they pop off way too easily, but transformation's fun. It holds together well once you have it in all the modes, but man, panels just pop off like crazy. That might just be me. Also, I might just be manhandling it in a way that it doesn't like, which is entirely possible. I think my biggest complaint about the figure, though, is the size. It feels very small. And, I mean, it really does feel like a tiny figure. And I don't know how I can really convey that to you through the YouTubes. If you see this figure, well, you know what? I think I have a better idea. Hold on. Let me get this transformed back into robot mode, and then I want to show you the box again, because there's something interesting about that that might actually help explain why it feels so tiny. So here's the card that was in the box. This is standard deluxe class size box. The feet ended right here. There was a piece of plastic that went over the tops of the toes, and the feet ended right here. So the figure was only that much in the box, where you've got an inch on up and down, and then maybe a little bit more side to side. So the box definitely made the figure feel bigger. I bet that's why it feels so small. Regardless of its minor flaws, the figure is fun. It's good. It's definitely worth owning. Now, I do have Alpha Trion, as I said, so here is the box for Alpha Trion. You can see it right there. That review's coming up next. And I have Zeta Prime on its way, so I'll review that as well. So, folks, let me know what you think of Optimus Prime down in the comments. Thank you all for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I will catch you all next time.